Greetings, brothers and sisters. I'm Professor Spira, and today I'm going to read another excerpt from Professor Arnold Ehret's Mucusless Diet Healing System, annotated, revised, and edited by Professor Spira. Lesson 25. This time I will be talking about the section on bathing. Authorities differ on bathing almost as widely as they do on diet. The Mucusless Diet Healing System will produce the, quote, skin you love to touch through clean body blood supply and without the aid of cosmetics, lotions, and cold creams. So this is something that I noticed when I first started practicing the diet. My skin really got baby soft, and it just blew me away, because I was like, wow, I was touching my stomach. It was like this, it was just like baby skin. And people, and I would show people and they would let them touch it and they'd be like, wow, you know, and so it was a trip. And so I can attest to that. And sometimes you go through eliminations and you might have some skin, Brother Ehret had some eruptions one time on his neck. He was going through an elimination. His acid stuff, kind of popped out. And so, yeah, so it's not always going to be perfect. And if you have a predisposition to having stuff eliminate on your skin, or you got skin issues, and you go through a period where you might have some intense eliminations on your skin. But overall, people ask me about, well, do you use lotions and all that stuff? I don't use anything. I don't use lotion. I don't use oil. I don't use anything. I have the soap that I use is the cleanest soap that I've been able to find. It only has 3 ingredients in it. All of the ingredients are essentially edible. I wouldn't want to sit there and eat the soap, but it is, you're not going to die if you eat it. It's edible ingredients. So that's what I do. But I transitioned to that. I just didn't one day say, okay, I'm going to use all natural body things. No, the first thing I did was I started hanging around with, there was a couple vegetarian guys, and I was doing the mucusless diet, but these guys were more advanced in the areas of just personal hygiene and stuff. And they had told me about different, it's better to get more natural soaps. You feel a lot different than that other kind of soaps that got all the chemicals in it and stuff. And so I started trying the soaps, because I had used more natural soap when I went camping with the Boy Scouts, because you use the biodegradable soap, and I did remember that I did like the way that felt, but I didn't think it was the soap as much as it was just I was out in the woods in nature, and maybe I take a little bath or something, a shower, not a bath, but a little shower or something at some point. But I recalled, I was like, that did make my skin feel kind of good. And so I got some of the natural soap, and lo and behold, I was like, okay, this is good. And so since then, I'd always used the cleanest soap I could find. And I got to a point where I used to use some that had fragrance in it, but my skin got too sensitive to anything. Like anything, the essential oils and that kind of stuff I would get out of the shower and I would kind of feel itchy and that kind of thing. So I use a soap. It's no scent soap. Has, like I say, 3 ingredients in it. It's basically edible, and that's what I do. Like I said, it took me a while to get to there. That's what I do. In the early days, I did use some essential oils like cologne, to make it like cologne and stuff. But after a while, that would give me a headache, and I just wanted to be away from all that. As far as deodorant under my arms, I do use lemon juice deodorant, just lemon juice. So, but you got to do it a certain way, or it's not gonna work. You get your lemon juice, and I'll take either paper towel or a rag, or even just my fingers, and but mostly a paper towel, and sop up a little of the juice, then dab it around under my arm, and then keep my arms up. So I put it on both, and then I keep my arms up, and I'm not wearing a shirt, but I keep my arms up for about 2 minutes and let it dry. You can't just put the under there and then put your arm back down. You gotta put the liquid on there and then keep your arms up to let it dry. And that's the process of the lemon juice actually killing off some of that bacteria that's under there that might be causing a little bit of that stench that you can get. From my own analysis and experience, there's usually two ways that you can have body odor under your arms. It's either bacteria is building up under there, which the lemon juice takes care of, or you're internally very unclean. And most people that don't cleanse, both of those are the case. And so that's why they use these dangerous deodorants that suppress elimination. Like, you're supposed to sweat a little bit. And they got antiperspirant. You want to stop your body from doing something that it's supposed to naturally do. And you get yourself a little cleaner, your body is not going to overly sweat. I don't overly sweat all the time or have, I don't walk around with big old, sweat marks and that kind of stuff all the time. But those are all eliminations, and it's telling you different things about your physiology, your body, what your body's trying to do in terms of its cleansing. But so this is one of those things, to each his own, whatever it is you want to do. I don't promote any one way, and I take that back. I do promote try not to put anything on your body that you can't eat. I like that. To me, that's a good principle. Don't, if you're using soaps and makeups or anything like that, there's natural versions of all those things that you wouldn't die if you ate them. That it'd be edible. Just this stuff, when you start looking at ingredients on some of these lotions and this stuff, it's crazy. I mean, there's stuff in there that is, it's terrible stuff that's in there, but nobody cares about, most people don't read that kind of like what's in this. It's better out of sight, out of mind. And as long as they can just get oily and be oily, then they think they're hydrated and stuff. But anyway, I will leave I'll leave the cosmetic discussions and that whole thing to other channels. I'm no fun. People, I'm not. Some people are fun when it comes in this realm, because they make their own soaps and they do this and make their own makeup, and and they have a lot of fun and it's fun to watch them. I'm boring. I use 1 bar of soap that has 3 ingredients, and I use that on my body. That's what I use on my hair. That's what I wash my hands with after I use the restroom. One soap, one type. No perfumes, no lotions, no oils. So I know I'm boring. Because people love that. People love all these little goodies and what can I get, and things like smell stuff and so I don't want to deprive you of that joy. If that's something that you love, then far be it from me to get in your way of that joy. But the only thing I would say to take from me would be, try to find things that are edible, that if you're gonna put it on your body, try to at least be edible. So okay, so we'll continue. It is not necessary to take a daily hot bath with soap and brush under ordinary conditions. Okay, so I don't always bathe every single day, and I'm guilty of hot showers, and there's something that I do I call it a shower bath. So I'll get in a shower, and I do like hot. I don't make it scalding, but I like me a nice hot shower, and so I'm not interested in cold. So that's not an area where I feel it necessary for me to push, boundaries or things. Because if I was in the right environment, I would be, I'm envious of Dan McDonald, where I see those videos of him where he's just he's in these hot springs and out there in these lakes and stuff, and that's warm water. So to me, warm water is natural. I don't need to, it doesn't have to be so to me it makes sense. In the warm water, it goes along with 98 degrees. Now Ehret's message in a second is going to be just extremes of both sides are negative. So if you're trying to do that real cold thing, or you going too hot, if I'm guilty of something, it would probably be too hot of a thing. But I apologize for my indiscretion. But I like me a nice hot shower. And with the shower bath, I'll get done doing my little soap stuff and then plug up the hole in the tub, and I got these pads, and I sit down and lay on the pads and let the water beat down on me, and I close my eyes. And lately I've been doing Sedona method in there, so I got my Sedona method tapes going, and so I'm releasing. And there's other times when I got music going or I'm meditating, and just for me that is that's like a regeneration chamber. When I go into my bathroom to take my shower bath, that's just my time for myself. That's like this is how I get myself back into back on track. So yeah, the morning cold shower during the entire year without any consideration of weather conditions is also inadvisable. There is no need to deliberately subject the body to an extreme shock, and in a number of cases, more harm than good may result. So that's a principle, and that's rational. I'm not someone that does, and I've seen people that do sort of like the cold water therapies and that kind of stuff, and I've never been into that personally. That's not something that I'm attracted to. If I was gonna do anything, it would be like hot therapies, where the saunas and that kind of thing. But that's just me. Needless to state, the skin must be kept clean so that the pores may be permitted to properly function, and this can be accomplished by the following method. Place a basin of cool water before you. Dip the hands in the basin, and starting with the face, rub briskly. Wet the hands again and apply to the neck and shoulders. Next, rub the chest and stomach. Next, the arms, and then the back. And last, the legs and feet. Put the feet right into the basin if you care to. Keep moistening the hands as needed, but there is no necessity for throwing any quantity of water on the body. To dry off, rub with bare hands for 5 minutes, if possible, until the body is all aglow, or wipe with a towel. This should be done upon arising immediately after you have taken your exercises. The results will surprise you. If you prefer a tub bath, then allow about 1 inch of cold water to run into the tub. Sit in it with knees drawn up and follow the same rule of rubbing and massage as outlined above. So like I said, full disclosure, I don't do this. Okay, this is one part of the diet. Now, I have done the basin quite a bit, and I usually combine it with sunbathing. So if I'm going to go outside, I'll get a dish of water and I'll go out in the sun, and then at different points I might put the water on and just get a layer of water and wipe, open my pores up with my body, and then get out there. Or I'll do that before a sun bath, so just to open the pores up, then go out in the sun, and then start to get the sweat and that kind of stuff. So I've done that. As far as the inch of cold water in the tub thing, yeah, that's not my thing. So full disclosure, I don't I don't practice every little thing in here just to the T. Nobody does. And so, but I encourage everybody to try this. So I tried it once, but I'm like, this isn't. I want to take my shower. You know, that's like I said, baby. That's my thing. I like my warm shower, and yeah. So I'm gonna keep that one. Sorry. Remember that the air bath is just as essential as the water bath. A few minutes each day spent before an open window, upon rising, and just before retiring, when all clothes are removed, massaging the body, help the skin to retain its natural functioning qualities. Now, I found it for me a lot easier to do these kind of things when I'm fasting. So I have had periods where I remember to do this kind of thing all the time, or go outside, and I would combine it with earthing. You know, take off my shoes and just kind of get the morning sunrise, and breathe, and do the air bath, just all that kind of stuff. So now the lemon juice, that's really a lemon juice air bath, because you could call it lemon juice deodorant, but what I was talking about before with the lemon juice, it's essentially an air bath with lemon juice. So you're putting that lemon juice under your arm, and then you keep your arm up until the lemon juice is dry, and that is essentially, you're getting the benefit of oxygen and the power of that lemon juice to kill whatever's down up in there that may cause a little bit of smell. Then everything's all good. And there was some time where I used some kind of natural brand of deodorant, but it didn't do a great job. I think it was lavender, smelled like lavender. I like lavender smell, but once I really started to, and I'll tell you what I saw that got me to start the lemon juice deodorant was I was watching a reality show years and years ago. It was probably like 2006. It was, I guess it was a reality show, or it was or a documentary show or something, but they were showing what people did in Victorian era. And the rich people, what was it called, manor house or something? I don't know. But the rich people would have access to lemons, which you had to be real serious rich back in the 1800s if you was going to get access to lemons. But they would have lemons and use lemons. I think it was particularly the women. They use lemons under their armpit as deodorant. And I just saw that, and I was like, because I always have a bunch of lemons. At that time I was buying cases of 165 lemons every couple weeks, and I'm like, let's try that. So I tried it, and the key was the air bath, because the first couple times I tried it, it would hurt because it wouldn't dry, and so it would stay all moist and not dry, and it was all uncomfortable. And that's what a lot of people do if they skip the air bath part, and then they're like, oh, that don't work, that's not good. It was like, yeah, but did you keep your arm up for several minutes? No. Well, that's why it didn't work. So you can try it. If you like it, cool. If not, like I said, you do what you need to do. Whatever personal hygiene thing you feel is right for you, that's what I want you to do. And I want you to enjoy your life, enjoy the transition, and just keep on pushing this thing to the next level. So I thank you for tuning in. Hit the like button and the subscribe button if you would. And tell a friend that mucus-free is the way to be. I'm Professor Spira. And until next time, peace, love, and breath.